everybody, Danny Maresca from Own Health. Newsflash, dietary fats don't cause heart disease. A recent study just was released a few months ago from the Journal of Clinical Nutrition, and it showed that dietary fats don't cause heart disease. This is a meta-analysis looking at, which is a collection of studies over a period of time, and then they compare the studies and basically come up with a conclusion based on that. And this is the conclusion that they came to. So the question is then, why did we think that dietary fats caused cholesterol problems and heart disease in the first place? So I'm going to give you a few reasons why. Number one, what it's called is the lipid hypothesis, the idea that saturated fats and dietary cholesterol cause heart disease. And it was started in the 1950s by a man named Ansel Keys, and was also propagated by the vegetable oil industry. This is primarily corn and soybean oil, and they would benefit from it, so they kind of went behind this idea. And it was also latched onto by the media. This is when news media was just starting to grow, and the idea of something controversial like low fat being a good thing for you was something that caught their curiosity, and they kind of latched onto that and went with it, and it all kind of just snowballed. But if we look at the facts related to animal meat consumption and saturated fat consumption, animal meat consumption from about 1910 to 1970 actually decreased from 83% of a person's diet to 62% of their diet. And butter consumption dropped from 18 pounds per person to about 4 pounds per person that same amount of time. So thankfully we've got this new study that concretely tells us that saturated fat doesn't cause heart disease. I want to share with you a couple great resources, books that I've read that expand on these ideas and support this same idea that's been found in the study. And the books are, there's two that I can think of off the top of my head. Eat Fat, Lose Fat, written by Mary Enig. Also another book of hers called Know Your Fats. And then a third book called The Great Cholesterol Con, and that's by Dr. Malcolm Kendricks. And you can find these on my website at www.ownhealthnow.com, and just kind of read for yourself so you can understand a little bit more about it. So then what's the real cause of cardiovascular disease? And I think clearly it's two major factors that we can look at in terms of diet, and that is processed foods and sugar. And the consumption of sugar and processed foods has gone up about 60%. That was from 1910 to 1970, that statistic. So now it's probably a greater portion of the American diet is processed foods. So we know that can be a contributing factor. And then vegetable oils actually increased about fourfold. So 400% more vegetable oils are consumed now than they were at the turn of the 19th century, early 1900s. So we can look at those two things and correlate the increase in those with the increase in heart disease that started around 1920. So in conclusion, don't stop eating saturated fat. Don't stop eating animal meats. They're very beneficial to your health, to your brain health, to the health of your cells in your body. So don't stop eating those. Some good fats that you can consume are coconut oil and raw butter. And in your animal meats, make sure that you're looking for organic, grass-fed animal products, or at least animals that are fed to their nature versus corn-fed beef or something like that, which is not what cows are designed to eat. And lastly, look at your sugar intake. Just try and cut out as much as you can. Anything, if you're going to eat some foods that are processed and in packages, then look at the back label and look at the ingredients, and if it ends in OSE, then really try and cut that out. And so that's maltose, dextrose, anything that ends in OSE like that. Also fructose, which is your fruit. So be careful with eating too much fruit, because that also can cause a lot of problems, from blood sugar issues to long-term complications. So pay attention to those. Cut back on the sugar. Keep eating the fats. Thanks for listening, and I'll put out a video on cholesterol and diet in a few weeks. So thanks a lot.